All right, YouTube, the Overwatch Grand Finals for the OWCS is happening right now at DreamHack Stockholm, Sweden for the weekend, and they have released Hazard for a free trial weekend between November 22nd, Friday right now, till November 25th, which is Monday. Hazard will become available completely for Season 14, which begins December 10th. They released a gameplay trailer today, which you can watch separately. They released an ability breakdown infographic, but this is the article that I'm going to read to you specifically because it covers a little bit of his art, backstory, and his gameplay. ICYMI. I hate this acronym. In case you missed it, exploring Hazard's art, backstory, and gameplay. While the competition at the Overwatch Champions Series heats up, let's dive into the newest tank hero that is playable all weekend before joining the game in Season 14. Hazard is a charismatic and contrarian punk rocker who might look a little rough around the edges, but is a fierce defender at heart. So in case you missed all the action at DreamHack Stockholm, here's everything you need to know about his kit, concept, and backstory. All right, Bringing the Rain. Let's talk about his gameplay. B-roll time, as I explained. Hazard's gameplay is a momentum-based blend between dive and brawl playstyles. I would say he's more dive than anything. That will leave opponents running for cover. His overall kit is powered by abilities that empower his mobility, Jagged Wall, and Violent Leap. You'll dive into the backline to attack low-health heroes, but can easily shift back to the front line to keep the opposing tank in check. Jagged Wall creates a spiky wall of vanadium, so that's what it's called. Everyone kept calling it Shimmer because I think that's the arcane thing, right? When the, what's it called? The cinematic first came out. Anyways, the vanadium will stick to any surface, including walls and ceilings, that damages and knocks back enemies that touch it. However, Hazard can use his Vault passive ability to not only climb up the jagged wall, but also for a short distance on any vertical surface. This allows Hazard to roam around the battlefield with ease. Once he is in position, Hazard can use Violent Leap to vertically lunge forward and viciously attack his opponents overhead. Violent Leap is a medium-range two-stage mobility option that also packs a punch. It does 80 damage, by the way. Activating Violent Leap sends Hazard jumping towards an area, and if you press Shift or the melee button, Shift would be the same ability button. This is a PC thing. Console players, I don't know what Shift is, the equivalent, but just press the same leap ability again. During the leap, and Hazard will unleash a devastating slash in front of him, once again for 80 damage. You'll discover there are a ton of fun combos and areas to explore with Hazard across all maps in the game, where that little extra ability can lead to a huge advantage. Rounding out Hazard's kit are his primary and secondary fire abilities. His primary fire, Bone Spur, is a close to mid-range shotgun that fires bursts of spikes that can poke better than other tanks. It does 67.5 damage if all the pellets hit, and yeah, it's kind of like a projectile shotgun, kind of like a Roadhog. When Hazard needs to defend himself, his secondary ability, Spike Guard, blocks incoming damage from the front, but at the same time, he will retaliate with a volley of vanadium spikes to nearby enemies while regenerating his ammo at the same time. So being strategic between using both Bone Spur and Spike Guard allows Hazard to be a constant threat in any team fight. This is on a resource meter, kind of similar to Defense Matrix. It's on 3.5 seconds, and it'll auto-retaliate volley of damage at enemies close to them in a cone in front of them. Okay, and finally, Hazard can unleash his ultimate Downpour ability, a devastating attack that will stop opponents in their tracks. Downpour rains down spikes across an area in front of Hazard. Getting hit with Downpour will damage and root opponents in place. People have discovered its 2.5 second root and leaving them vulnerable to attack. Beware that Downpour pierces the environment and terrain, so taking cover behind walls and different elevation will not protect you. So yes, this goes through all walls. I can stay behind a wall, cast it down a straight line, and they get rooted, and it pulls them down because it comes from the sky. It rains down. So any flyers like Pharah, Echo, I don't know, Valking, Mercy, a Winston trying to leap in, if you like cast that, it just shoots them down. Kind of like what Ramattra was supposed to do with the Vortex. Oh, it also blocks headshots too. Hazard is a combo-centric hero that can deal a lot of burst damage between leaping, slashing, and shooting enemies. The key to his success is to keep mobile, look for targets to dive on, and not try to duel the other tank the entire time. We look forward to seeing how you learn to master his ability kit and reign rain terror on your opponents. The Heart of a Rebel. So now let's go into a little bit of the fun stuff for those who like this. The Heart of a Rebel. Hazard's aesthetic and concept art came from a blend of gameplay and narrative goals. Initially, the team envisioned him as a massive, beastly figure, really leaning into the power and presence his gameplay demanded. New heroes can have multiple prototypes at any given time, and Hazard was snuck into a broader dev team playtest one day. The reaction was so positive that it solidified Hazard as the Season 14 hero. So I guess his original concept, they called him Spiker at first, right? They always have their in-house names, kind of like Juno was Space Ranger, and a couple of other ones. Original concept art. I mean, he kind of has the same build. His weapon looks more similar to Orisa here. It's got the Johnny Bravo triangle build. Hazard's story is one of struggle and resilience, and in a lot of ways mirrors the world of Overwatch after the Omnic Crisis. He grew up facing hardship and fending for himself. He found his place with the Freaks. Everybody thought his name would also be Phreak, but the Freaks is actually a group of body modders that became his found family and gave him an environment where he could flourish and express his true self. His loyalty to the Freaks and his belief in their anti-establishment ideals are core to who he is. This is some cyberpunk stuff, man. Body modders. David Martinez. Initially starting with a cyberpunk punk rock aesthetic, Hazard began as a monstrous and intimidating villain. Over time, his story and appearance has since been refined into someone who's still tough, but has that rebellious charm, like a mix of edginess paired with a protector's heart. So here's another bit of concept art. Here's his basic pose, some 2D art of his violent slash, the spike guard shooting out while he's blocking, and then his ultimate downpour where it all fires. Hazard's personality shines through his design and gameplay. One of the standout elements in his art design is the crystallized wall visual from Jagged Wall. He has a tough exterior, and if you're against him, expect to feel his sting. If you're with him, however, he makes for an excellent defender. Okay, this is the concept art for the expression study. I will say his chin, nutsack. Or a butt chin. Very butt chinny, very nutsacky in the original 2D thing. It looks like they've since sharpened it out. A little sacky, but you know what I mean? This one's a real... What do you mean what? Anyways. Oh, it's the Peter Griffin chin. That's right. The Peter Griffin chin. The ball chin. It's smoothed out though. This I like this a lot actually. The final 2D render smoothed out. Since Hazard's art development refined his visuals, his backstory shifted too. The evolution from massive tank to charming rebel shaped his narrative, and he turned from a villainous figure to a hero. This shift also helped develop the Freaks as a faction with strong ties to the Omnics. They have a focus on bodily autonomy and distinguish themselves from other groups in the Overwatch lore. Hazard's development is a good example of how many aspects of hero development come together, with different parts of the team pulling ideas from one another, trying new things, and ultimately building a hero that we think will be fun and resonate with the community. You can try Hazard now during a limited time trial through November 25th. Then be sure to log in for Season 14 starting December 10th when Hazard launches in Overwatch 2. That is a little bit of the backstory along with his gameplay coverage. That is the article. The full gameplay trailer and a full ability breakdown will be available on the main channel. If you go to the Blizzard press site, you can see an ability breakdown along with some extra like stuff with Hazard. This is the official Blizzard game press site. You can see more concept art like his spiker arm that wasn't shown in the article, a couple of original 3D render models on how he would operate. This polygon, this like gray background environment is like a dev background testing environment, I believe, right? And of course, he's got a doggo. It says Overwatch Hazard belt buckle dog. Oh, and here's a more closer up look to his spiker. This is the original concept art, right? I don't think this is the... Oh, the dog's name is Macy. All right, we got confirmation from the lore. The hero looks way cooler than the original cinematic showed, because that was before he injected himself with the Venarium or whatever. And now he's got all these cool pink spikes. So you guys didn't really get a true glimpse of what he looks like once transformed, right? Just his human side. But with all the pink spikes coming out of his hand and his back, way cooler with the body model. The body modding made him more interesting, at least. All right, cool. That's it for me. Check out the main channel for the full Hazard breakdown with all the abilities. Bye.